There are pressures we recognize and burdens we deny. Some are heavy in our hands like weights we've been told to carry. These appear as work, bills, expectations, the constant demands of a world that never sleeps. You can almost hear them clink as they pile up, like in a backpack you're carrying, slowing your stride. But there are other weights, quieter, invisible. They don't make a sound, but they bend us just the same. They show up in the way you hesitate before speaking. They linger in the pause before you trust. They hide in the corners of your smile. These are the weights of regret, shame, fear, the echoes of words that cut when you were young, the memory of doors that closed before you could step through, the moments you told yourself you weren't enough, and then carried that belief like an heirloom no one asked for, but somehow passed down. We all carry something. Some of us drag it like chains behind us. Some of us hold it so close it feels like part of who we are. But what no one tells us is that not every weight is truly ours. Many of them are handed to us. A parent's unhealed pain transferred in silence. A teacher's careless remark. A partner's betrayal. Even the culture around us, whispering rules about who we should be. These weights don't belong in your bag, yet somehow they ended up there. And because we've carried them so long, we forget to ask a simple question. What would life feel like if I put this down? Strength is not about holding everything together until your knees buckle. It's not about proving to the world that you can drag your pain another mile. Strength is the quiet decision to let go, the courage to say, your words do not define me. Your actions will not control me. These burdens are not mine to carry anymore. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a wide river. The water is calm, endless, and patient. You reach into your bag and take out one of these weights, doubt. You hold it in your hand, heavy but familiar. For a moment you hesitate. It almost feels wrong to release it. But then slowly you loosen your grip and let it fall. The ripples stretch outward, carrying it away. Next comes shame, then fear, then the memory of the time you told yourself you couldn't. One by one you place them into the river, and the water does what water does. It swallows them up. And in their absence, something unexpected happens. Your shoulders rise, your chest expands, your breath comes easier, deeper. You notice the air, the space, the lightness you had forgotten was even possible. Letting go is not always dramatic. It doesn't need thunder or applause. More often, it's quiet, subtle, like loosening the rope that's been gripping your body, like finally opening a window in a room you've kept locked for years. And as you walk forward without those burdens, you begin to see differently. The horizon doesn't look so far. The road doesn't feel so steep. You're no longer bent beneath the weight of what you were never meant to carry. You were not born to carry invisible backpacks. You were not put here to live bent and broken. You were born for movement, for freedom, for lightness. If you feel the weight of something heavy, something no one else can see, know that you are not powerless against it. You have permission to release. You have the strength to set it down. Maybe not all at once, but piece by piece, breath by breath. Who you truly are will be revealed by what you release. When you finally unclench your fists and let those weights fall, you will remember. You were never meant to survive under the weight. You were always meant to walk free. Most of us were raised to believe that yes is the polite answer. Someone asks for your time, your energy, your help, and you give it. Why? Because you don't want to disappoint. You don't want to seem selfish, and you don't want to let anyone down. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to yourself. And when that happens over and over again, you slowly drain your energy, your focus, and your purpose. Saying no isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about being disciplined. It's about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your mental space are limited resources, and they deserve protection. I mean, we only get 24 hours in a day. That's it. You can't add more hours. So if you give away your yes to every request, every distraction, every invitation that doesn't align with your goals, where does that leave you? Usually exhausted, unfocused, and quietly frustrated with yourself. Now let's flip it. Imagine what happens when you begin practicing the discipline of saying no. Suddenly you start to reclaim space for what matters most. You give yourself permission to rest when you need it. You create room for the projects, people, and goals that actually fuel you. Your no is just as valuable as your yes. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're training for a marathon. Every night, friends invite you to go out late. Now, if you always say yes, you'll lose sleep, skip training, and weaken your performance. But when you start saying no, not because you don't care about your friends, but because you care about your bigger goal, you start to show up stronger, sharper, and more aligned. The same applies outside of sports. Maybe you're building a business, or maybe you're working on your health, or maybe you're simply trying to create more peace in your life. If you don't protect your boundaries, the world will happily decide how you spend your time. Saying no doesn't mean slamming doors shut. It doesn't mean being harsh or rude. It means learning to respond with clarity and kindness. Something as simple as, "Thank you, but I can't commit to that right now. I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on other priorities." Or, "That doesn't fit with where I'm headed at the moment." Simple, respectful, but firm. It takes courage to do this. It takes discipline. But remember, every no is actually a yes to something else, like your health, your goals, your family, and your peace of mind. Think about your life right now. Where are you giving away yes too easily? Is it at work, where you take on tasks that don't belong to you? Is it with friends, where you feel pressure to show up even when you're drained? Or is it in your habits, where you say yes to scrolling on your phone, but no to exercising or reading? What if you drew a line? What if you decided that from now on, your yes meant something? Make it intentional. Make decisions that align with your beliefs and values. That's where freedom begins. That's where discipline becomes your ally. Your power doesn't come from saying yes to everything. It comes from saying yes to the right things and having the discipline to say no to the rest. You can't truly relax if your finances are a mess. I mean, let's be honest. Money stress is a silent destroyer. It keeps you up at night. It pulls your focus from work, from family, from your health. You can eat clean, meditate, exercise, journal, but if your bank account is constantly running on empty, your mind is never fully at peace. That's why we need to talk about financial well-being, not just as a strategy, but as self-care. Because there's no freedom without financial clarity. Now, let's clear something up. Financial well-being isn't about being rich. It's about being in control. It's about a peace of mind. It's about knowing that your choices today are leading you toward a more stable, secure, and empowered tomorrow. But for many of us, that's not what we were taught. We were taught to spend what we earn. We were taught that debt is normal, that budgets are for people who are broke, that talking about money is awkward, and so we stay silent, even as the pressure builds. And here's the cost. Our stress levels spike. Our relationships strain, our confidence slips, and we end up carrying the shame about our finances silently. pretending we're okay while we're barely keeping it together. But I want you to know something. You're not alone. Millions of people are quietly fighting this same battle. And like all self-care, it starts by facing what you've been avoiding. Not with guilt, not with fear, but with courage. So where do we begin? Well, start small. Look at your numbers. Track your spending. Make a budget. Identify the leaks. Even if what you see scares you, you've already taken back control just by paying attention. Next, set priorities. Are you spending to impress people or to support your goals? Are your habits aligned with your future or stuck in old patterns? This is about awareness, not punishment. Then build structure. Automate your savings. Create an emergency fund, even if it's just $20 a month. Every dollar saved is a promise kept to yourself. And if the debt is drowning you, make a plan. Reach out for support. There's no shame in asking for help. The shame is staying stuck when freedom is one brave decision away. But beyond the numbers, let's talk about identity. Because when you take care of your money, you send a message to yourself that I'm worth it. I'm worth the discipline. I'm worth the delayed gratification. I'm worth the peace of mind that comes with financial integrity. Financial self-care is self-respect in action. And over time, that mindset changes everything. So you stop reacting and start responding. You stop hiding and start owning your reality. You stop hoping for change and start creating it. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about choosing to live with intention instead of impulse. It's about building habits that serve your future, not sabotage it. So if your bank account doesn't reflect the life you want, start today. Not with a drastic overhaul, but with one committed step, one choice to take your power back. Because financial well-being is emotional well-being. It's confidence, it's clarity, it's freedom, and you deserve that. You ever look around and feel like everyone else is ahead of you? Like your friends are getting promoted, buying properties, building something big, and you're still trying to figure it out. Now, it's easy to feel behind, but you're not behind. You're just on a different timeline. Life is not a race, and it's definitely not a straight line. We all start in different places, face different battles, and learn different lessons at different times. Some people hit their stride early, others take a little longer. And guess what? That's okay. That's real life. Social media makes it worse. You see someone's highlight reel and compare it to your current view. You see their wins, but not their worries. You see the celebration, but not the struggle. But your path, your timeline, it's yours for a reason. Just because your progress doesn't look like someone else's doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. A flower doesn't grow faster because it's next to another one. It blooms when it's ready, and so will you. We've been fed this invisible checklist. Graduate by 22, career at 25, married at 30, kids by 32, retire by 65. But that checklist isn't everyone's story. Some people build their dream life at 50. Others find their calling at 19. Some get it right the first time, and some fail 5 times before they figure it out. You're not late to your own life. You're arriving right on time for the lessons, the growth, the purpose that's meant for you. Some seasons feel like nothing's happening. You feel stuck, still, confused. But even when it feels like nothing is moving, you are growing. Every time you get back up, every time you stay kind in a storm, every time you choose not to quit, that's progress. Roots grow underground before anything blooms above the surface. And sometimes what feels like a delay is just preparation. Here are 4 ways to stop feeling behind and start owning your path. Number 1, unfollow the noise. If someone's content constantly makes you feel less than, well, mute it. not because of jealousy, but because of your peace. Number 2, write your own definition of success. What does your version of a good life look like? Is it peace, purpose, travel, family? Define it so you stop chasing someone else's. Number 3, celebrate small wins. Because progress isn't just about the big moments. It's showing up, being honest, growing quietly. Every little step counts. Number 4, talk kindly to yourself. You're not lazy, you're not a failure, you're learning, you're growing. You're doing the best you can with what you know, and that counts. Your time is coming, so stay ready. Life isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And your rhythm is beautiful, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. You're not too old, you're not too late, you're not behind, you're becoming. And when your moment comes, when the pieces click and the doors open, it'll be worth every slow step, every quiet day, and every lesson along the way. You've probably heard the saying, success leaves clues. And it's true. There are books, podcasts, YouTube channels, mentors, step-by-step courses, and real-life stories all around you. These are tools, resources, proven roadmaps. But here's what most people don't want to admit, is that none of that matters if you don't do the work. You can binge motivational videos for hours. You can highlight every line in a self-help book. You can take notes at every seminar, sign up for every free guide, and follow every influencer. But if you don't take action, you're just pretending. You're consuming instead of creating. You're learning instead of living. There's a trap that a lot of people fall into, and it feels productive. They're constantly studying, watching, planning. They say things like, I'm getting ready, or I'll start when I finish this course. But truthfully, they're hiding behind preparation, hiding behind fear. But let me tell you, you don't need more information, you need more action. You already know what to do. You've heard the message 100 times. Wake up earlier, take care of your health, focus, work on your craft, be consistent. You know this, but are you doing it? That's the difference between people who talk about success and people who actually achieve it. It's execution, effort, and reps. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. No mentor, no video, no perfect program will make up for a lack of discipline. Yes, success leaves clues, but you still have to follow them. And that means getting your hands dirty. It means staying committed when the excitement wears off. It means pushing through when the results don't come fast enough. You want a better body? The gym is right there, but you've got to show up. You want to build a business? The tools exist, but you've got to hustle. You want peace of mind? The habits are proven, but you've got to practice them daily. There's no shortcut. There's no secret. There's just the work. And here's the good news. You can start flawed. You don't have to know everything. You just have to start. Start messy. Start unsure. Start small, but start. And then keep going. Even when it's boring, even when you're tired, even when no one's clapping. Because success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who work. Those who show up again and again, even when it's tough. Those who are willing to fail forward, learn, and get back up. So if you're feeling stuck, stop asking for another blueprint. Look at the mirror and ask, am I doing the work? Not thinking about it, not planning it, not talking about it, doing it. This is your reminder. Yes, success leaves clues, and you're smart enough to see them. But more than that, you're strong enough to follow through. No more excuses, no stalling, no more waiting for the right moment. The time is now, the path is yours, but the work is still on you. Let's be real. Nobody likes looking at their weaknesses. We'd rather show off our strengths, lean into what we're good at, and hope that that's enough to carry us. But what you have to understand is what you avoid is what's holding you back. You see it in sports all the time. The player with an incredible jump shot, but terrible defense. The fighter with knockout power, but weak endurance. The athlete who dominates in practice but crumbles under pressure. Talent and strengths will take you far, but weaknesses will determine your ceiling. It's simple. Self-evaluation is uncomfortable. It's easier to say, that's just not my thing, than to admit, hey, I need to work on this. But ignoring your flaws doesn't make them disappear. It just makes them stronger. The difference between good and great is the great ones attack their weaknesses head on. They don't avoid them, they fix them. So how do you do that? Well, here's a guide. Step number 1, identify the weak spot. Your first step is being honest with yourself. Ask, where do I struggle most when things get tough? What's the one skill I know is holding me back? If I were competing against myself, what weakness would I exploit? You can't fix what you won't face. So admitting the problem is where real growth starts. And then step 2, shift your mindset. Most people see weaknesses as roadblocks. They avoid them because they don't want to feel bad about themselves. But weaknesses aren't permanent. They're projects. They're just areas you haven't mastered yet. The best don't see them as flaws, they see them as opportunities to get better. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, start thinking, this is my next challenge. That mindset shift alone changes everything. Step 3 is you got to make it a priority. A lot of people acknowledge their weaknesses, but they don't actually do anything about them. They'll say, yeah, I should work on that, and then go right back to what's comfortable. If it's a weakness, it needs to go to the top of your list. You don't just work on it when you have time, you attack it every day. You create a structured plan to improve it. If your mindset collapses under pressure, you don't just hope it gets better. You train yourself to perform under stress. If your confidence is shaky, you don't just ignore it. You build it through preparation and repetition. So make a plan, put in the reps, track your progress, turn your weak spots into strengths. Step 4 is you have to push through the frustration, because at first you're going to struggle. It's going to feel awkward, frustrating, and slow. That's where most people quit. They try for a few weeks, don't see huge results, and then decide maybe this just isn't for me. But that's the test. Do you actually want to improve, or do you want to just stay comfortable? The only way to beat a weakness is to stay consistent long enough to see progress. It won't happen overnight. But if you stick with it, you'll wake up one day and realize that what used to be your biggest struggle is now second nature. And then step 5, keep looking for the next one. The truth about growth is that it never stops. Once you turn one weakness into a strength, well, then find the next one. There's always another level, another challenge, another way to improve. That's how champions are built. They don't run from their weaknesses, they hunt them down. The easiest thing in the world is to lean on what you're already good at. But the ones who reach their full potential don't take the easy route. They do the hard work. If there's a weakness you've been avoiding, it's time to step up and start doing something about it. Because your next level is hiding in the work that you don't want to do.